and we'll see if this, if this streak, and right now the Michigan win streak on the hockey side of the equation stands at 7 straight games, and they've won 11 of their last 12. An amazing run. How about Ira, 13 of their last 15? This is
leading the nation in scoring.
This is a team that has really found something, really caught fire. And they score a lot of goals. Some of these games they've had to score a lot of goals.
That's true.
Some of them they had to score a lot of goals. But it's great. Hey, it's great to be able to do that, right? You get down 4-1 and you come roaring back.
Well, what did Brian Cook say to us at the beginning of the season? One of the question marks he had going into the year. We've talked about the defense, and we'll talk to Coach Powers about that side of things. But he also said, where will the goals come from? Because some guys that left and who's going to step into new roles. Not only, well, we expected Zach Hyman to have a nice senior season. No one expected this.
Is he a Hobie Baker guy?
He's definitely a candidate. Will he finish in the top 3? We can hope so. We'll see how the season plays out. Dylan Larkin, the freshman, the first half of the season was a fine first half, but it was not an exceptional first half. He's been playing much better. The goal scoring, which was going to be maybe a question mark for the beginning of the year, it's not a question mark right now.
Well, joining us to talk about that, you're absolutely right. Joining us to talk about that is Michigan assistant hockey coach Billy Powers. Coach, good morning.
Good morning, Sam.
How are you today?
Very good, very good.
All right, so, Coach, let's start out talking about the positives. Coaches always like to go to the talking points and talk about the things that their guys need to work on, but let's talk about the positive. You get down 4-1, and, boy, I don't know what you guys said to the team in the first intermission, but, boy, did they ever respond, because they went on a tear after that with 6 unanswered goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's really not what you say. It's obviously what they do, and I think that right now the confidence as far as what we're capable of as far as scoring goals is high. And so, it's a great feeling as a whole entire group when you don't feel like you're ever out of the game. And we kind of just stayed the course, knowing that we had to kill a 5-minute major penalty. It didn't do a great job in it. They scored 2 goals, but it wasn't as if 5-on-5 they were dominating the game or had any kind of an edge. So once we got through that penalty kill, we got back to 5-on-5 hockey, which we were playing good in the first period, 5-on-5, and you get one, and then this momentum. College hockey is so much momentum that once you get the one, the bench gets going. You get a little more life, and you get that belief. And like I said, I mean, right now, based on our last 7-8 games. We're not afraid about having to come back in a game, and that's a real good feeling, that confidence.
Coach, it's often the case that when you give up a number of goals, it's not just the guy in net. A lot of times it's the defensive front end or the circumstance, like you pointed out. But it was the second game in a row that you pulled, Steve, and you went to Nagelvoort. Is that a sign that it was more what was in net than it was in front of him in these last couple of games?
Well, it was a little bit of everything, but we felt that Steve, after the second goal, he looked like he wasn't responding well to that goal as far as his confidence and a good, when a goalie's having a good game, there's gonna be a mistake and there's gonna be a goal scored, and the good ones can shake it off, and Steve has done that for the most part. But it just seemed as if he was a little shaken, and there's no question that we felt 2 ways. Give our team a little bit of a boost, and get a goaltender out of there that we didn't feel was at its best. And thankfully it worked out. It worked out well, and it's going to happen. Goaltenders are going to have those kind of nights.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like you said, though, fortunate to have another guy that you have a lot of faith and confidence in that has performed well. He came through not only in that game, but in the next game as well. As Zach was, he was money for you.
Yeah, and we're just similar to our entire team. We're not opposed. We got to continue the second half of the year. You're challenging your guys a little bit more because there's no secrets. They know what the expectations are. They've been through the system now for the first half of the year, 3, 4, 5 months, and then of course some of the upperclassmen. It should be second nature. So we're not opposed to leaning on the goaltenders as much as we are anybody on our team, and we've challenged the 2 of them. As it's a position that we have to get better at. These two guys have to continue to challenge themselves every single day to take giant steps. Because our team is taking some pretty positive steps, and so we need our goalies to kind of come with us.
Right, and to give some specifics on Nagelvort's performance in the 6-0 game, 17 saves, his first Big Ten shutout. So, like I said, he was money. But other big-time performances, what about the first career hat trick for Justin Selman? Coach, kind of talk about that.
Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, you guys, I know when you talk about our team, Zach Hyman is a big subject right now, and rightfully so. And I think a guy like Justin Selman is, his path is not unlike Zach Hyman. I mean, Justin's a junior. I'm not comparing their seasons by no means, but Justin was a guy his first 2 years that was trying to find his niche here, and he was a guy that we responsible. He's a responsible guy. We trusted him, and he played a good role in our club. And but all these kids come to Michigan with some kind of an offensive background or resume, and I think another guy that you see, a guy that gets some confidence. He had a good weekend against Minnesota when we were home. He had, I think, 2 or 3 goals that weekend, and those things go a long way. And he's starting to show some of that offensive flair, and playing with a couple good people, of course, doesn't hurt. I mean, Zach and Dylan are our hottest players, no question. So, but you know what? Justin's fit in well, and when he gets chances, he's burying them, and that's what he needs to do. So, it's good to see. And he's been a hardworking kid. He does things the right way, and hopefully this will continue for him, just like it has this year for Zach.
We're talking to Michigan assistant hockey coach Billy Powers here on the Michigan Insider on Sports Talk 1050. WTKA online, WTKA.com. Coach, I mentioned it, 13 of 15 games, 7 straight. You are on a super hot streak. And, the primary component, as Ira pointed out, is you guys score, and you're scoring better than anyone in the country right now. And I'm curious, as you look at, you coached a lot of teams. I'm sure you've been on some roles before, but how does how this team is performing offensively compared to some past offensive teams that you've had?
Yeah, and it's been a while, since we've, had kind of this offensive juggernaut type thing going on. And, I remember, when we had Porter, Kolarek, and Pacioretty, I forget the year, but we're going back maybe 5 years. That's probably the most recent time, and that wasn't a prolific team. We had a prolific line, though. Those guys dominated college hockey, and they were great offensively. But as far as putting up the numbers that we are, you probably have to go back to the 90s, which I think the game, as we all know, has changed. You're seeing less and less kind of records, even not being broken, or not even coming close to being broken, just with scoring offensive type numbers. And so, it is a rarity, an oddity probably in this, the way college hockey is, that you're seeing the team right now averaging over 4 goals a game. We hope it continues. But to your point, you got to go back a long way. This probably goes back to clearly the Morrison days, which probably other people have talked about, those 95, 96, 97 teams that put up crazy numbers. So, I would say, yeah, it's been too long.
Hey, well, look, it's good that it's around now, and you're trending positively at a crucial time of the season, and you're coming up against a rival down at the Joe in Michigan State. You faced them a few weeks back in the GLI, and you downed them 2-1 in that contest. Kind of talk to us about the Spartans, what they've done since then, what they bring to the table.
Yeah, I think they've won 3 of the last 4. They had a sweep last weekend at home, and I think that's been an improving team. I think that team has also been trending upwards, and we played a heck of a defensive game at the GLI, as we did the entire weekend, and we got good goaltending. Obviously, that was a 1-goal game that could have went any way. And I think it's just going to be another one of the classic matchups where, the rivalry games, they are what they are. Let's face it, Michigan State lost to GLI, so that's down at the Joe, and that leaves a sour taste, and now they get a chance to redeem themselves at the Joe against us. So, we're expecting, and we're pretty positive we'll be seeing their A to A plus game. Now, what does that mean? It just means we have to play our A game, and then we'll see what happens. But I believe it will be another classic Michigan State battle.
And Coach, kind of last one for you. When Coach Berenson sits down with you guys to decide who's going to be in net, do you just write the hot hand from the last game, or does he go with who was better in practice that week? How do you guys make that decision?
Yeah, no, good question, and it really is a little bit of everything. But I would tell you that you're probably always going to lean towards a hot hand, and the last game probably carries the most weight for sure. But we definitely have been kind of keen on practice and watching and paying a lot more attention to make sure that the goalie that we think is the right guy is trending in practice too. So it's a good question, but I no doubt that your last effort, game effort, is more important than anything.
All right. Well, Coach, thanks a lot for your time. Good luck. Keep it rolling, and we'll talk to you guys again next week.
Thanks, Sam. Take care.
All right. That was Michigan Associate Head Coach Billy Powers.